nowadays we have several challenges in the 20th century, and as an educator and as a coordinator, we always think about who and how we are delivering our kids at the end of the basic school, at the cycle of education. So to what extent or how does IB Vision still is relevant to promote skills for our students in the 21st century? How do you see that nowadays?
Yeah, I do think that, you know, an IB education, all its programs, it's relevant for the 21st century. Of course, it was for the 20th century and for the 21st century, in terms of how the IB moves beyond just the traditional academic, right? I do think that we have seen in the last couple of decades, and all of you who are in schools are seeing the progression of of professions, right? How things have moved not just from knowing or having very good numeracy and literacy skills, but also like to be a good collaborator, you know, to be someone that knows how to conduct research, independent research and collaborative research. Also how to be a good communicator, right? Like with Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook, and just like having influencers, you know, it's amazing to see how young minds, young kids are like really influencing the world in social movements. And the IB, it's promoting all that, you know, in the communication skills, the research skills, social skills, how to be, as I said, an independent worker, but at the same time, knowing like, okay, sometimes I have to collaborate, and how can I do this? And also, how can I manage my time? I guess all of us have been enjoying, but also victims of the web, and, you know, how to manage our time. And I guess like Felipe can talk about that, you know, like how can you study for an exam, but at the same time be a good communicator and knowing about what's happening globally. The IB has these motto from the beginning of like, think globally, act locally, right? So we want to, I think that's one of the biggest skills that the IB in all its programs is trying to promote with their students. So these are, and of course, you know, like within all these, I can go into the textures, how like the IB program, again, the IB programs, and I don't want to talk about the diploma or the PYP or the MYP, but like all of them provide different opportunities to our students and our teachers, our leadership team to, you know, like to become good writers, good readers. You know, those are skills that are still needed, but also how to synthesize the information and be creative and, you know, like come up with something new. Also how to conduct research, not just in traditional disciplines as biology or chemistry, but how can we be social scientists, right? How can we start to think about social movements, and how can these be, why do they repeat in our country or in the world, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think that all these skills, you know, and the textures of each one of these skills, like big skills, communication skills, research skills, social skills, self-management skills, are relevant for the 21st century and have been relevant, I would argue, during, you know, for centuries, you know, like throughout history. You know, we see how nations that have been strong throughout time have had great researchers, have been strong because their leaders have collaborated, have developed great science movements because, you know, like they foster inquiry and they promote, you know, spaces, ideological and implementational spaces to think. And the IB is just taking these best practices and trying to have this partnership with schools for you to promote them, right? To promote all these skills in the 21st century, and hopefully we're a learning organization, so maybe there might be new skills.